There are special people in this world. We didn't ask to be special. We were born harmless phosphorescence. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Harmless Phosphorescence. This is your host, Throw Smiley, and I'm trying to do what the Nazis couldn't. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Cece, and I am tired of drawing dead bodies.
I'm Brian Lesh, and each one of you has a letter that I've written to be opened at a specific time.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I just injected myself with 9 Dragon soy sauce.
You're going to be so savory, Al. This is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, then we tell you all about it. This show is brought to you by our patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You can be a patron too. Just go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We've got lots of bonus material over there. We've got a Star Wars miniseries. We got holiday shows. We've got music shows. We do non-superhero movies every month. So head over there, patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. And if you can't afford that $1 a month to become a patron, then at the very least, click the rate and review on the podcast app on which you are listening to us, or on the YouTube video on which you are watching us. Subscribe, like, rate, review, do all that internet-y stuff that we are constantly telling you to do all the time. But you
could get an orphan from a faraway land to sponsor you. Just 37 cents a day.
Yeah, that's right.
And make them click like and subscribe.
They're like, those poor Americans.
There's
more steps.
There are a lot of orphans in third world countries that spend all day liking and subscribing to things.
That's true.
Yeah. How do you think those Fiverr, like 1,000 likes for $5 work? Yeah. So, on that note, this week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we're watching 2009's Push.
There are some people in this world with extraordinary gifts. We don't ask to be special. We're just born that way. Some of us can move objects with our minds.
You're a second-generation mover.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
Others can make their thoughts your own.
Get the hell out of my head!
Some can see the future.
You're a watcher.
Right now, our future isn't that great.
But there's a secret organization within our government called Division, trained to track us down and turn us into weapons.
There's only one person who's ever escaped from Division. We have to find her. She's the key to bringing them down.
With her, we're going to create an army the world's never seen before.
I haven't even gotten to the bad part yet. We die.
Great.
Division's looking for you.
We're here to help you.
You said the future's always changing, right?
What are you gonna go do?
Gonna try and make a better one.
Sounds like a plan, but what about the part where we die?
Not part of the plan.
They're here.
We want Division out of Hong Kong just as much as you do.
Damn.
You need to accept this reality. You all die. You know who doesn't? Me.
Gonna try and get inside my head? Go ahead. See if you can push me before I pull the trigger.
Your move.
I don't see why you keep at it. You already know the ending to this story.
We're going to change it.
Push.
Based on the book by Sapphire.
Yeah. This was released February 6th, 2009. It's got a running time of 111 minutes. It cost $38 million, and it took in $48.9 million. So, yeah, it made it. It did not do well. I mean, that's not enough to.
But that was a cheap movie in 2009. 38. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's cheap. That is, it was cheap.
Could be sure. Nobody really cared how it did.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I remember it coming out. I don't remember there being a whole lot of kerfuffle about it.
Same.
Yeah. So that brings us, guys. It is time to play the box office top 10 game. Now, I would point out that this is for February 6th, 2009. We are going back in time. We accidentally skipped this one. It got a couple down the list. So every once in a while that happens. In a given year, I might have a movie a little bit out of order. So that's on me. And I hope that the podcast review board will forgive me.
Right. Yeah. If you listen and you catch that, good for you.
Yeah.
Get a hold of us.
Yeah. So it's time to play the box office top 10 game. This is the game where we count down the top 10 movies in the nation for the week of February 6, 2009. And the guys here try to guess what movie I'm talking about based on the description I give them. And they also guess where Push opened. Guys, Brian, we'll start with you this week. Where do you think Push opened?
I'm going to say number 5.
Bry goes 5.
Yeah.
Josh, what are you going with?
All right. You know, it didn't make squat, but I bet it was a good Valentine's movie compromise. I bet the trailer attracted girlfriends and guys were like, yeah, I'll see this. That'll be great. So I think I'll go number 7.
Josh goes 7. And Al, what are you thinking?
4.
Al says
roll the dice.
4. Rolling the dice.
And then Al's on. I meant 3.
Did you notice how in the trailer that dice game had a completely different outcome than in the movie?
Yes,
he won the dice game, whereas in the movie he did not.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go, guys. This is the top 10 game. Number 10. 2 kids secretly take in stray dogs at a vacant hotel. That's the
Hotel for Dogs.
Yeah, yes, that is correct. The most straightforwardly named film ever.
I appreciate that sometimes.
Hotel for
Push
Dogs.
was confusing.
Yeah, snakes on a plane. Like, we're just right up front with what they've got going on.
What's that about?
Yeah, Hotel for Dogs. I don't recognize the people on that poster. All right, coming in at number 9.
They're all dogs.
No, there was a human also. At least I assume so. I guess I should not assume their species. You get a dog point, Josh, which is
that's worth 7 human points.
There you go. That's the joke I was shooting for. Coming in at number 9. Anna returns home after a stint in a mental hospital, but her recovery is jeopardized by her cruel stepmother and ghastly visions of her dead mother. This is horror.
Yeah.
It is
Anna and the Order of the Phoenix.
that isn't it? Might as well be. It's The Uninvited.
All right.
So none of you are inviting any points into your home this time.
Never, ever.
We all get a ghastly vision.
Ghastly visions are the best kind.
Yeah.
I don't want my visions to not be ghastly. So few things in my life are ghastly. Or dastardly.
I got some ghastly visions I can give you.
Yeah, I need to start having some dastardly deeds done dirt cheap. All right, coming in at number. What are we on here? Coming in at number 8 this week.
8.
A disgruntled Korean War veteran sets out to reform his neighbor, a teenager who tried to steal his prized possession.
Oh.
I can't tell you what that prized possession is, because it is the title of the film.
Was this Clint Eastwood?
Yes, it was.
Is this El Camino?
Not
It's
that was Breaking
Torino.
Bad. Gran Torino.
Gran Torino.
Breaking Bad, Gran Torino.
The Dorito.
Yeah, the Doritos Locos.
That's ranch style. Yes. So, Josh, you get any which point but loose.
I get the Kelly Blue Book.
Yeah,
point
value, which is $1,200.
Sweet.
Coming in at number 7, Indian Millionaire. We've had this on
Slumdog.
Slumdog again.
All right.
And coming in at number 6,
The Hotel for Slumdogs.
Hotel for Slumdog Millionaires.
Versus Predator.
2, the new batch.
The new batch.
At the Hop. What number is this? Number 6. 2 young Americans with special abilities must race to find a girl in Hong Kong before a shadowy government organization called Division does.
That's our push.
One of you had 7, one of you had 5. Nobody had 6.
What we needed was a watcher.
Yes.
Yep.
To guide us.
Yeah, all the names.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I can't decide whether I'm a watcher, a bleeder, or a screamer.
Or a jumper or a fluffer.
Am I a pooper? Can that be my power? I just poop a lot?
A fluffer.
I'm just very regular.
Give me a People magazine in 3 minutes.
I'll blow your mind.
Nobody said I was quick.
Start the revolution. All right.
Number 5. When a shopping mall is taken over by a gang of organized crooks, it's up to a mild-mannered security guard to save the day.
Paul Blart.
Blart. Yeah, that's right.
The cable guy. Health inspector.
This is the Segway advertisement.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in at number 4. Oh my God, this. An inspector teams up with a squad of international detectives who are just as bumbling as he is. Their mission: stop a globe-trotting thief who specializes in stealing historical artifacts.
The inspector.
It's either Get Smart or what was the other one? Pink Panther?
Yes, it is Pink Panther, but which one?
Secret of the Use.
I mean, yeah, 2. That's 2. Pink Panther 2. With Steve Martin as Clouseau. Which he was. I wasn't too fond of his Clouseau, honestly.
No, those are cringy because the originals are some of my favorites ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You get a pink point. Coming in
Itchy from Pink Panther fiberglass.
Yeah, remember that?
Oh, those commercials. Yeah.
Don't go up into the ceiling.
Don't lay on it. It's itchy.
Really itchy. Oh my God, I did that a couple times as a kid.
Yeah, got it on my hands.
Oh yeah.
And I'd always forget how itchy it was until the next time, and I was like, "Oh, it's happened again."
I tasted it every time.
Well, and it was always during the summertime, so it was always 130 degrees and itchy.
Yeah,
like you're in a panther.
But nobody caught us smoking weed up there, that's for sure.
Nobody wanted to.
Like, the kids are smoking weed up in the crawl space again. Just let them.
Well, there's a bunch of asbestos up there.
Cancer and itchy. Yeah. It's like a cartoon.
The Cancer and Itchy Show. Woo. Coming in at number 3, an adventurous 11-year-old girl finds another world that is strangely idealized version of her frustrating home, but it has sinister secrets.
Oh, this is this is the animated one.
Coraline?
Coraline, yes. So Push, Pink Panther 2, and Coraline all were opening this week.
Yikes.
Yeah, coming in at number 2, a retired CIA agent has a particular set of skills.
Taken.
Yeah. I'm taking that all the way to the bank.
With the money bank.
With that 1 point. Coming in at number 1, opening this week at number 1, This Baltimore set movie of interconnecting story arcs deals with the challenges of reading or misreading human behavior.
This isn't Crash.
It's not Crash, and it's not The Wire.
What else did you?
Oh, Brian said Crash last time this came up.
It still feels like it should be.
Still can't
Yeah.
remember.
Oh, Rush? No, not Rush.
No, it's not that kind of
Smoosh?
flush. Grish.
Grish.
Oh, he's just not that into you.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
He's still not.
He's still just not that into you. Dude.
The movie description does not lead you to
No.
that title at all.
It seems way more serious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It really does. So, yeah, that is our box office top 10 for the week. That brings us to the film itself. So this is not based on a comic. So, Al.
Oh, actually, it was. It was based on a 1945 Nazi propaganda comic.
what?
Really?
No.
It was well. I looked it up. It said there was a run from 2008 and 2009, but
it was put
that's
out,
when this came out.
It was put out as a promotional run for the film.
Okay, that's what I thought, like a Masters in the Universe type deal.
Yeah, exactly.
The cartoons for this. Okay.
And that was actually a prequel to it. I mean, they clearly were expecting to set up a whole world here.
If not, they're assholes.
Yeah, exactly.
For having a name for every group of everything.
And not having an actual ending.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah. This movie, pushed 2009, released February 6th, 2009. It was directed by Paul McGugan. McGillicuddy. I don't care. He was the director of Lucky Number 11, Gangster Number 1, Sherlock, the Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, no, episodes of Sherlock.
No, that was what's his name?
That was Guy Ritchie. But Lucky Number 11, it's kind of the same thing.
Now that you mention those movies, okay, yeah, some things make sense.
It has
actually some things I liked.
Yeah, well, and it's got that heist feel to it.
It has that, but then I guess we'll get there. But there's some really neat stylistic shots that remind me of like Six String Samurai and Kung Fu Hustle and stuff like that, especially in the fish market. But.
Oh, yeah. It was not a bad looking film. Like, it wasn't a bad film. It was just kind of.
I think all the actors did well.
Oh, yeah. The actors were great. I really thought that Chris Evans and Dakota Fanning had an amazing amount of chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The story is just a hot mess.
Yeah.
So, all right. It was written by David Borla. David Borla is let's see. He's best known for writing Bush. He also has writing credits on a movie called Larceny, something in 2000 called Nostradamus, Doomsday Rock, which is a 1997 film, When Time Expires, Yesterday's Target. Like this dude, this is his last writing credit. So I guess
I love that this guy has writing credit for Bat Thumb, The God Thumb, and Franken Thumb.
That's
you guys know what those are?
Oh, I'm sorry. He directed those.
He had directing credits on those. I was getting to that. Bat Thumb, God Thumb, and Franken Thumb.
But there was a Thumb Star Wars too, but he wasn't involved.
Oh,
in
yeah,
that.
Thumb Wars.
I remember the Thumb Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a whole series of those.
There were.
Like, what?
Occasionally someone would rent one and it was just so perplexing.
Yeah.
It's like the most disgusting pornography made more sense than that.
All right. So this, I want to, we don't mention the music often, but because so many of these are just the same five guys do the music for like every freaking superhero movie. But This was done by Neil Davidge, who is the dude from Massive Attack.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and you could tell I really liked the score on this one.
That's what made it feel most like Fight Club.
Yeah.
I mean, like Chemical Brothers, Massive Attack. Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Stars Chris Evans as Nick Gant. We've spoken before about Chris Evans in Fantastic Four. We'll speak about him again a number of times. He's Cap. We all know that. Dakota Fanning as Cassie Holmes. So her first big break was I Am Sam in 2001. That's where she really became known.
She was in a movie shortly after that called Man on Fire.
Yeah, that was a good
Denzel
one.
Washington.
Yeah,
that was a good movie. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I Am Sam, Man on Fire. Oh my God, Sweet Home Alabama. Up, Down. Oh, she was in the Cat in the Hat movie. I forgot about that. That was terrible. And yeah, she continued to work. Oh, she was Charlotte's Web. I forgot about that too. And she was in Twilight, several Twilight movies. She continues to work to this day, but she's not in anything like huge. She was Squeaky Fromme in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, she was so good in that.
Yeah, she was.
Squeaky Fromme.
Camilla Bell as Kira. She's let's see, she was
Walking Dead, I think.
Is she?
Wasn't she in The Walking Dead?
I don't know. Was it later seasons? Because I really fell off that.
Later seasons, yeah. I think she was with the governor. Maybe this is a different chick.
I don't know. She was in. I mean, she was a child actor in the 90s. She was in Poison Ivy 2. She was in Jurassic Park: Lost World as a child. Let's see. Then, as she got older, she was in When a Stranger Calls, 2014 Caveman. Her most recent film credit is The Mad Whale in 2017.
Oh, I'm so mad.
Wow, she was in. Yeah, she's not working much these days. Mickey and the Roadster Racers. She voiced Almonda.
I love the name of this one. In 2005, it was the Chum Scrubber.
Oh, yes. Remember that movie?
I do not. Anyway.
Let's see. Oh my God, this dude's name every time I have to say it. Okay. Jaman Onsu.
Oh, yeah. That is a tough name.
Jaman Onsu. I'm sure I'm still saying it wrong.
It was cool to see him have such a lead role. I wish that had happened more.
Yeah.
For that guy. I know he's in the MCU, but still.
Yeah, but he's not it's good to see him in a lead. He was Amistad, Gladiator, Blood Diamond. Furious 7.
Gladiator, Blood Diamond.
2. The Furious 7. Okay.
Yeah, then Guardians and Captain Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
We'll see him in the MCU coming up.
Also Aquaman and Shazam.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dips in two pools. You're not supposed to do that unless you.
Oh, that's right. He's the old guy in the basement in Shazam. Under the subway.
They call him Wizard.
Yeah.
He was also the voice of Pink Panther. Not Pink Panther. the Black Panther in a TV miniseries in 2010. Animated.
Whoa, really? Yeah, I do remember that.
I know. Wow. Cool.
Joel Gretsch played the dad in that one scene. He was in 4400 Taken V. Let's see. We got Ming Na Wen as Emily Wu. I was shocked to see her in this. I didn't look at the cast beforehand. I was like, oh my God. Of course, she's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I feel like we saw her in something else already. Was she in one of these movies?
She was the voice of Mulan.
Yes. Yeah, she was the voice of Mulan.
Of course, yeah. She's done some cool TV work, right? What did you just say?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, she's in The Mandalorian, of course.
Yeah.
And
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Right.
Yeah. So
it was a rather diverse cast when you stop and think about it.
Yeah, it really was. Let's see. Cliff Curtis was he was one of the gang. He's been in a lot of stuff. Let's see. Three Kings, Once Were Warriors, Blow, Live Free or Die Hard, Dark Horse.
Training Day.
Yeah.
He's the creepy uncle.
Yeah. Nate Mooney is Pinky Stein.
He's a McPoyle.
Yeah. Ryan McPoyle on Always Sunny. He is also in, let's see, Elizabethtown. Oh, God. The movie that almost destroyed Orlando Bloom's career.
His what?
Yeah. Good point. Let's see. He's in a bunch of like B movies.
Oh, yes. He cuts quite a profile, though.
He does.
Todd.
Yeah.
So handsome.
Corey Stoll as Agent Mac. Let's see. That's the dude. He was in The Wasp, or he played Yellow Jacket.
Yes, he did.
Darren Cross. What was that? Yeah.
Yeah. I first saw him in House of Cards.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Me too. That's right.
Before it got terrible and before,
Yes.
Before that.
Or Robin,
he was the
right?
first casualty, right? In the show?
Oh, that, yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They had
He's
him
the first
killed.
one he sets up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was also in The Strain. That was the Guillermo del Toro vampire TV show. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
FX.
Oh, he's going to be in the upcoming Steven Spielberg West Side Story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys know Steven Spielberg's making West Side Story?
I did not.
That's
I wonder
weird.
how they pulled that off. Well, I mean, obviously it's just Romeo and Juliet, but the racial divide has a lot to do with that musical.
Right. I don't know if it's going to be a period piece or what, but
Yeah, it's curious.
yeah.
Not that racism's gone, but what matches would you find? It's curious.
It's gonna be like a Southern, like a Blue Lives Matter. And a Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. When you're a jet all the way and get the fuck out of the county.
Yeah. When you're a QAnon, you're a QAnon all the way.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Spielberg.
Woo. Sorry, everybody. Scott Michael Campbell was Agent Olden. They had a huge cast, and I have to keep going because these are all known people. Scott Michael Campbell from Flight of the Phoenix, Brokeback Mountain. Let's see, he was in Bulworth, Radioland Murders, A Guide to Recognizing Your Saints, A Good Day to Die Hard. Fucking Bruce Willis. Neil Jackson as Victor Budarin. That's the guy that beats up Chris Evans a lot. He's from Blade, the series.
Oh, yeah, the blonde mover who's a bodyguard.
Yeah. Then we got Maggie Siff as Teresa Stowe. She was on Mad Men.
She was also on Sons of Anarchy. She was Jack's wife, who Katie Seagal just boom straight up stabs in an argument.
She's also in Billions. Then let's see, Paul Shea as Wo Chang, a wiper, the guy that lives on the boat. Zhao Lu Li as the pop girl.
Did you mention the guy that they meet up with who can? Is he a push as well? A push that because he can take any object and make you think.
Yeah. That was
there's fake money.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, he was from Training Day, and
that was He definitely was
a warrior.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
I think he
back
was
ways.
classified as a shifter.
Yeah,
These
there's too
motherfuckers.
many things. There are
Yeah.
too many things.
Actually, there are only 7. Well,
Only
only 7.
7's a lot of things, Al.
in a 111-minute movie. Okay.
7's not a lot in like an X-Men universe, but
No, but we're also kind of familiar with the concept. We don't have to be introduced to the world.
And in X-Men, they show don't tell. There was a lot of exposition about what each
Exactly.
one did.
Yeah.
And then they showed us.
That's right. They'll have a mutant, they'll have Shadowcat run through the wall, and that's all you need to know. They'll have a kid holding some fire. That's all you need to know.
Like we know they're all
But these, they
different.
have categories.
Yeah, and everyone falls into I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot for how long of a movie it was. So I have a few reviews here. Kyle M. writes, as the superhero genre began to meet a glamorized secondary generation, there is still an artistic license desiring an original take that acts heroic simultaneously an indirect adaptation of a similar story taken to complicated stakes. This narratively standalone picture has enough storytelling efforts despite couple undisclosed loose ends and convoluting abilities being purposely limited amidst a sort of travel catalog with impressive intellect at a heist-level picture followed by a satisfying payoff build up by a nice
What?
cast. So
Is that a civilian, or was that person paid to write?
that's a civilian. So I'm assuming
You
that's
got
a
a B on that.
Yeah,
paper.
I'm assuming that's a 12-year-old who found a thesaurus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Crumtumperus Serpophila.
David D writes, not sure why I like it as much as I do. 4 stars.
Feels the same way about butthole pleasures.
And Billy H writes, yes, Dakota Fanning, slay.
That's a little too enthusiastic.
Yeah.
The FBI might need to speak with you.
So that's it, guys. Are you fellas ready to jump into this thing?
don't bite your nails.
Push it real good.
Here it is. This is Push. We open on a title card 10 years ago. Okay. Thanks.
He says we're watching it in 2021.
Right? So
I had to keep reminding myself.
So 2011, right? Yeah. So
But so 1997 or
98, 99, somewhere around there.
99. Yeah, I got tongue tied.
Let's see. A boy and his father arrive at a hotel room. Dad tells the kid, whose name is Nick, to run and hide. Someday a girl will give him a flower, and he asks to help her. So when a girl gives you her flower, son.
That's weird. They could have started the movie with this and shown that, which they did, and then gone like 10 years later. It's weird. They
Right.
went the opposite.
They did 10 years ago.
Right. It's like you're starting the movie. We're with you. All right. There are a few little storytelling things.
Yeah. So a bunch of military guys, led by Agent Carver, show up, looking a lot like a Jamie Foxx from
Gold
Amazing
Digger?
Spider-Man. Just with like the way he has like the hood up and everything. Yeah.
And the big, this looks like he came from a video shoot. A music video shoot.
So they show up, they kill Nick's dad, Nick runs away. Then the credit sequence in which they explain the entire concept of the film.
In a Crow type way with some people.
Yes. Okay. So Dakota Fanning tells us Dakota Fanning believes that when some people die.
Well, right. And she's like, we're all special and they want us to die. It's like, well, everyone does.
Yeah. So,
what's your hang up?
So the Nazis started trying to turn people with psychic powers into weapons. And then afterwards, after World War II, different countries set up divisions all over the world to continue the research. They experimented on kids. Most people die when they try to inject them with a serum that will enhance their natural abilities.
Why not just try and enhance their natural abilities through like practice?
Right.
Because it seems
Why not
that's a
build
thing. Because Chris Evans isn't
Like-
good because he doesn't practice much, they say.
Yeah, like I don't understand why there isn't a Harry Potter kind of school for these people, and like you're a mover, you're a shaker, you're a waiter. I don't know.
You're a good time gal.
You're a wheeler and dealer.
I'm with you guys on 7 being too many.
But you're right. There was no like X mansion type, school for the gifted type vibe. Yeah, they had to be hunted down.
And then taken into custody and by the division. So Al, what are the 7?
And everybody's in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
The 7 are so the Watchers with the future sight, Movers with the telekinesis, Pushers, Telemorphs. I guess
Sounds like a
Power
toy they
Rangers?
tried to sell. Yeah.
Telemarketers. No, that's not one of them. Sorry. Watchers, Movers, Pushers, Sniffs, Shifters, Shadows, and Bleeders.
And Stitches.
Stitches. The healing.
Stitches. Yeah, I missed that one. There were 8 then. Okay.
So the Stitcher thing, not to get too deep into this, but it makes me think like a pusher. Is there a puller? Is there somebody who can like take your thoughts out of your mind? I don't know.
Well, yeah, and
Maybe that would have
apparently,
been explored in movie 2.
and I get the vague like touching an object someone else touched, but like they really presented it as if it was the life of a mug, like from the mug's point of view.
Right. It had a mug eye cam, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They would see people picking up the mug and sipping. Nick did it over and over. It's like he can see that cup's past.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, she tells us all about all of this. Then we cut to a lab. A girl strapped to a bed is injected while Agent Carver watches. She dies, comes back to life, and then runs away, making her escape with the help of a very special marble.
Why would you have a character with an ER name when you have like 8, like Pusher, Watcher? It's like, what does Carver do? It took me a minute. I'm not just making the joke.
Oh, yeah.
They would say Carver before we knew he was Carver, and I was like, what is a Carver?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Supposedly that was just his name.
Right, but Josh was saying he found it.
But yeah, it does
It's
sound like
another
a
name.
Yeah.
Bradley,
Right. Yeah, or you find him, a name like, Stryker is an ER. But yeah, anyways, odd choice. Confusing choice.
He's a forward or a striker or a defender. Yeah.
Tight end. What
A bottom.
the blind side. Bottom.
All right. So, so the one lady drops the marble and it rolls all down the hall and keeps the door open so that this girl can escape. And that,
a mover is doing that,
right?
Presumably.
And a watcher, because we find out later on that that's Dakota Fanning's mother.
Yeah,
that's right.
So
I thought
she was working with someone else. Because that was my thought. Was like that's clearly Dakota Fanning's mom. There's somebody else who was pushing the marble that she dropped.
It seems
I just
like
thought it was his mom, but you're right. Mom was a watcher, but it was implied she was super powerful. It was also implied she was behind almost all of this, and they just abandoned her. We never see her or anything like that.
No, at the end they're like, "Are we going to trade this for your mom?" And she's like, "I don't know. We'll see." Like, come watch.
But that's
the
what
sequel.
I mean. Yeah, obvious. So okay, but in this movie they don't pay that off at all, even though they imply it.
Yeah, exactly.
Your mother's Brad. And then at the end of the movie, we're like, who is Brad? we never saw them.
All right. So Carver tells his flunky that they have to go find her because she's extra special with the injection stuff. Then we cut to Nick. He's all grown up. He's in Hong Kong.
Did you catch the time stamp? I guess it said 2 days from now.
Right. So this is the future.
It's so weird.
Right. And it could have been a clever device, but that's the only time they do that.
Yeah. So we're trapped in a time loop where that girl is just dying on the table, basically.
That's, yeah. And, oh shit. Go ahead. Sorry. I lost my thought.
All right. So,
I'm sorry. The future is always changing for everyone.
yeah.
with every decision we make.
Yes.
Just like them. So again, not super.
Yeah, well, I know, but like their ability to see that it, like what the effects of it changing.
That's their power. Yeah. I mean, it's just not.
Yeah, I know.
It's how the future works.
Yeah, it is. So, all right. Nick is very bad at gambling.
Okay, another thing I thought they were going to use, like Brian's tag about the letters. I thought maybe he would use the die for the random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And instead he's like, well, we need to generate these random blah, blah, blah that you don't know about. And instead of rolling with, I don't know.
Well, instead he
he
plans everything out very specifically.
Right. It's not random.
Not at all random. And then he just wipes his memory of it, but it's still planned out. Like,
right. Yeah.
I
thought the dice would come back.
Yeah. Yeah. That would have made sense thematically. So, all right. He goes home. There's 2 division agents there. They're sniffs. So they smell things and then can see what happened around that object that they can smell.
It is smell based? That makes sense with the name, but yeah, I thought they could just. No,
they were literally sniffing things, like holding it to their nose.
I thought it was like sensory. It was every sense. So them touching it, because we see later on the bead, they're just like holding it and like rolling it in their fingers. That's
true. But the one dude from the Yellow Jacket was literally sniffing everything. It was weirdly creepy.
Yeah. I think he was just a creep.
And those beads were very popular. They're from China. Those little magnetic beads that had quite a pull to them, because there's a shot of somebody wearing the bracelet of them.
Yeah,
but, they were very popular at that time.
Yeah, I remember those. So all right, they ask him about a girl. He says he hasn't seen her. They leave. He gets a phone call immediately. It's a teenage girl named Cassie. She's outside the door. She comes in. She tells him she's a watcher. She's seen that they can find $6 million in a case if they work together. She draws the future she sees in her notebook.
Yeah. And his problem essentially is like, why are you here? She explains her powers. He explains his. But right off the bat, I would have been like, this door needs to stay open and your 13-year-old self needs to get outside.
Yeah.
It's like, that should have been the first complaint. Who are you, kid?
Well, and this them running into each other and the division people coming into the apartment made me realize that this is going to be a movie about Americans in Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool to have Hong Kong as the backdrop and almost like a character in the movie. They did a really good job of choosing the place and portraying it. Never been to Hong Kong, but it felt
real. The fish market scene was badass. Like I said, it seemed like that was like some really contemporary type kung fu type movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the ones I mentioned. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah.
That's it. So the division is this clandestine organization who pretty much does whatever they want. They obviously capture these people. They tell Nick that they've been looking for him for 10 years or X amount of years, and then they bounce.
Yeah.
They're like, you better stay here.
Yeah.
Well, we're also told earlier in the movie or later on in the movie, I don't know, it was a few days after now, that only one person has ever escaped from the division.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but fucking Nick did.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't like in the division.
In their facility, yeah.
But like he escaped from them. This girl is clearly on the lam from the division. Like this dude who used to work for the division is now no longer with the division. That shit is
with the Department of Motor Vehicle.
The division, like I got the idea that the division was like rounding them up so they couldn't be out in the world, but like they're clearly just. There's a lot of these people that they're just like, hey, we're the division and we're going to leave you alone after we're weird to you.
We're the division and we're going to rock your socks off.
We're just going to take some blood samples and you can just be on your way.
Right.
That's how it felt.
Yeah. Yeah. It was weird. It was weird and inconsistent. A lot of things were. So
I don't think it was cut down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like maybe some things were edited because, like you said, they wanted to they wanted to establish a universe, but I think this is what they made. I don't think it was then chopped up.
Yeah, no, I don't think it probably made a lot more sense in the script. I think this is it's just script needed some tightening up. It needed something. This is all script problems. The filmmaking itself is pretty solid.
It was a cool looking movie throughout. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right.
And we would have bought whatever they were selling if it was less confusing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, powers. These are the groups that have powers. But it was all very convoluted.
It was confusing and complex, and the plot was confusing and complex. The world was confusing and complex.
Yeah.
And it's not like that
I was just going to say they missed a lot of opportunities to have these oppositional powers interacting with each other. It was very much like the Watcher versus the Watcher girl.
Yeah.
And the Pusher versus the Pusher, and the Mover versus the Mover.
Yeah, it was very little that we saw like the Mover versus the Bleeders. That was kind of cool because he like pushed them and then like,
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, that's what they're going to do, this like sonic scream. So why not move something really fast and knock them out?
Yeah.
Just hit him in the face with something.
And
his power's his mouth.
Did anyone else like keep wanting to? I kept thinking of Chris Evans as a pusher because he would literally push. He'd make the push motion all the time.
Yes, there was also that a lot.
I think that is the single most confusing aspect of this movie being called Push and pushers being thought pushers.
Or Stitches. Yeah. We see her and she heals him. We're like, oh, right on. And then we see her and it's the opposite.
Yeah.
So it's like they need a better name.
I wish they'd had a scene with two people sniffing each other.
When those two dogs smell each other's butts.
I've got a movie for you. All right.
Hotel for dogs. Slumdog.
Yeah, Hotel for Dogs.
I was thinking Human Centipede, but
Human Centipede.
Another movie where they just straight up tell you what it's going to be about.
Yeah, I'm a gulper. Yeah, I don't even know what that is, but see, everyone got grossed out.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be the pooper in that movie.
No. All right,
but
it's better to be the pooper than the gulper.
Always.
All right. So Cassie gets a vision that there are bleeders in the market. They're confronted by a group of Asian mafia guys, Hong Kong mafia. They flee. The mafia guys have a watcher who is the pop girl who's able to follow them. Nick is able to.
Pop girl was cool.
She was a cool character. I liked her.
I mean, we talked about the actor herself, but yeah, cool character.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, Nick gets Cassie to run and get to safety. They have bleeders that almost kill Nick, but Pop Girl tells them not to kill him or they'll never find the girl they're after. Then they just leave, I guess, or take him.
Yeah, a lot of people just leave.
There's a lot of people just leaving. Yes,
just
absolutely.
Leaving. They're done there.
Yeah. They do a thing and then like, okay, bye.
We found you, Nick. Peace out.
Like,
my power is not tying up loose ends.
Not at all.
And every bad guy at some point just leaves Nick where he is.
Yes.
After trying
just leaves him.
So hard to find him.
At the dim sum restaurant. They don't try to prank him or anything.
We're led to assume that they can just kill people willy-nilly because they are super clandestine and there's no repercussions for any of this.
Right. So why not like knock them out and shackle them or something? But no, they're like, we'll be back.
Why not
search for 10 years?
You don't put boots on him and toss him in the bay.
There's that too.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things they could do.
Kill the guy. The girl's going to come looking for him, put somebody in the apartment.
Well, I was really confused why the mafia didn't take him captive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Because I know she says... I know. Go ahead. She says we don't want to kill him because then we'll find the girl. Okay, I get that. So... But you're not going to follow him. You're not going to keep an eye on him. You're not bugging him. You're not taking him captive. You're just letting him go, and you don't know where he is again.
Yeah. They just wanted to let him know that he was being followed.
Yeah. We're keeping an eye on you. It's like, so. They totally could have easily written a scene where Dakota Fanning has to rescue him. Not just find him help like she did, but like jailbreak type shit.
She didn't even find him help. Help just happened to be there at the same moment she arrived.
Lilo and Stitch just showed up.
Yeah. So yeah, all right. So Cassie, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah. So then we follow up with the girl who escaped from the lab. She wakes up on a docked boat with an old dude smoking a pipe.
Who is the mind wipe guy?
He's the mind wipe guy. It wasn't until the second time watching this through that I figured out what happened. It was really confusing.
Well, and then it's like Kira, it turns out they've reversed that, but that she pushed certain thoughts into Nick's head and that she was kind of working.
No. All of that was not true, it turns out.
Right. But okay. So she was being pushed as well.
He was pushing those thoughts of her pushing into Nick.
But was she a part of it all along?
No.
He just said they were partners and stuff.
That was him pushing that into her mind.
Okay. I mean, I got that, but then I thought it was, okay. I thought she was still in on it. It wasn't clear that she wasn't to me.
I just don't understand why her memories were erased upon arrival to Hong Kong.
And only some.
Yeah.
And then it was low-key revealed that they had a past. We don't know if it was a real past, but I didn't know they knew each other. I know Nick was written on the mirror.
Right. But we
know at the very last scene of the movie
that it's
true.
True. The last scene proves that it's true that they did know each other.
Right.
Photoshop, but
yeah, really badly Photoshop.
Clearly not a superpower.
Yeah. So all right. So there's the words 4100 and Nick. She wrote those on the mirror. Then Cassie finds Nick in the back of, what is this place? Like massage parlor music venue place?
Yeah, set up like medical tent situation.
Yeah, I don't know what this place is, but so there's a woman there who's a Stitch who tells Cassie that she was sent by her mother, who's in the hands of the division. The woman heals Nick's wounds, then leaves as mysteriously as she arrived. Nick wakes up. Cassie gives him a flower she found. Nick realizes this is what his dad was telling him about. She tells Nick...
All right, that's what me cats.
Why didn't you show up with a fucking flower in the first place? Why did it take this long?
Yeah. Why wasn't that the first scene? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like when he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you in my apartment?" Blah blah blah. She just takes out and hands it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been more awkward for Dad to say, like, when some random 13-year-old shows up at your apartment, help her.
He didn't say where she was going to be anywhere. It was.
I know. I'm saying that if Dad had said that, it would have been like, and he would have been helping every random 13-year-old
that shows up
at his apartment for 10 years.
All right, yeah, he's tutoring.
But I just don't understand why Dakota Fanning didn't show up with a flower.
Yeah. In the very first scene, it would have made more sense from a narrative standpoint.
Because clearly,
I mean, Ellsworth doesn't matter that much.
Chris Evans' father was working with Dakota Fanning's mother, and she had told him, at some point, someone's going to come to your kid with a flower. Don't you think she would have told her daughter, like, bring a flower when you go meet this guy? Just save yourself a lot of trouble.
That actually didn't even occur to me that until you just said it right now, that their parents probably knew each other.
Yeah. Well, and he's one of the people who didn't escape the division, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. There's a missed opportunity to trim the fat in this story a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though their first interaction was really cute and really funny and she paid for food and all that stuff.
I felt like there was an idea. I felt like it was implied that her mother maybe even had multiple powers, unlike most people.
It seemed like maybe she did.
Because people with different powers knew her and worked for her. You know, the guy at the very end, even like your mother would be proud. Like, so, yeah.
That's actually kind of a missed opportunity. Like she's the most powerful watcher. What if like she had been like, she's the only one who has all the powers or something?
Yeah.
Like the holy grail of this kind of psychic world.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been what they were getting into. Instead of her being able to have someone else move the marble, she could see the future.
She was doing it. She could push. She pushed it into Cassie's mind to give the flower, which she set up years before.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. She tells Nick that her mom's the greatest watcher that ever lived. Now that she's seen the sniffs from his apartment, we'll get the the girl and the case. He realizes there's no money in the case. She tells him that she's foreseen that they're going to die. So the Sniffs find the girl, take her captive, but she convinces one of them that the other Sniff murdered his non-existent brother. So the one kills the other guy and she escapes, taking their car.
And doesn't he go like, I don't have a sister?
Yeah, that was a joke, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Weird.
I thought that was a really cool play into the pushing power, though, was him. Because I don't think he was joking about not having a sister. I think that he was like, wait, I don't have a sister? I think he was still confused. It was still wearing off.
I think he has a sister, but he was unclear as to whether or not that was pushed or not. Like, do I have a sister?
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But you're right. It was a good show of the powers.
Yeah.
The fog that remains after you've had someone doing that to your brain.
Yeah. I mean, it showed the telepathy aspect, and then it showed the mind control aspect, which was interesting. You know, he pulled the gun up and such.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Then Agent Carver picks up the surviving Sniff, pushes him to kill himself.
That's a Dr. Seuss book, right?
The surviving Sniff. Pushes him to kill himself, gives out a bunch of beads.
Show me your tits.
From a necklace to the underworld to try and find the girl. Nick and Cassie go to a club. They meet Nick's friend Cliff. He's a shifter who used to work for the division, so he can make physical objects look like
something else.
So I have a question about the beads. Yeah. Why did they need to be beads? What if she hadn't dropped a necklace? Couldn't they have just been like, I don't know, smell this toilet stall? Everybody needs to get down here and smell the air in this room.
Yeah, I mean,
smell the sniffer's suit because he tussled with her. Yeah. Instead, we got a bag of like beads. You know,
right?
I mean,
these little weird beads.
I think it's just a handy way to make it happen.
But I mean, I could have seen them taking his jacket after he made him kill himself, being like, make people smell pieces of this. The beads were just, it felt very much like, I have a raging clue.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid little step along the way.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
then it's confusing when they go, we might have passed it, when they go to meet Ming. What is her character?
Emily. That's actually, that's next. After Cliff sends them to Emily, who is a Sniff who can help them.
Okay, before that, I had a question. When he gives them a credit card that he tricked it, what happens when they run it? And they're away from him and it no longer, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a lot about that power that's unclear.
Okay, so the next scene, she draws the time and the painting behind her. And did anyone else feel like something intense was going to happen at 48?
Right.
Yeah.
They keep tensely showing the clock back.
Well, yeah.
I thought the bead was going to like shoot through her or something.
Well, I thought
she was in danger.
People were going to like bust in. Like I really thought that's what they were leading it up to be. So
a minute passed and she changed her mind. That's all that happened.
So I feel like they were just.
Was she bluffing?
I think one possibility, because they talked about how he used to con people, and she was trying to con him. So I think they were using their conning powers more than just their psychic powers. I think they were just conning her. But it was unclear.
Yeah, that wouldn't mean, Yeah, it was very unclear. Suddenly nothing happened and it was odd. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll help.
Yeah, exactly. So, she sniffs one of the beads, tells them to go to the pier. The Pier 1 down at Pier 42.
Buy a basket.
To find the girl. They go there. They find her. She instantly shoots at Nick. She's Kira, Nick's ex. They leave together. She tells Nick that she had her recent memories wiped, so she can't be tracked by the division. She knows Nick will help her find the case. Cassie, though, now sees her mom dying and wants to ditch Kira. Nick tells her they'll get a shadow to help them. So a shadow can block people from seeing them, right?
Only a sniffer, though.
Yeah, they block the sniffer's powers.
But not a watcher's powers.
Yeah.
Which to me would have been really cool if they had affected both.
Yeah.
Making the watcher realize, like, oh, dude, I can't see these people anymore. They're clearly using a shadow.
Right. Or the pusher.
Exactly.
That would have made more sense than like, well, I only work so well against a sniffer. And then if they have a watcher, like, I don't know. There wasn't enough. I wanted more asynchronous balance.
Yeah.
But there still wasn't. There was too much too much power in being a watcher or a pusher.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. It was not evenly distributed.
It would have been really nice to just see the powers go against each other a lot more.
Yeah. In more interesting ways, I think.
And it wasn't an age thing. It wasn't like as you grew, your powers got more powerful. Because Cassie seemed powerful enough.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So they pick up Pinky, a shadow. Then they hole up in a hotel room.
Pinky in the shadow.
While Kira cleans up, Nick tells the others that he met Kira on Coney Island. Nick and Kira hook up in the bathroom while Pinky gives them space, and Cassie goes to get some booze and get drunk. In the street, she sees Pop Girl. Pop Girl tells her she's seen how Cassie dies, something to do with the tiger. So stay away from the zoo.
Well, and that was not a payoff either, because it was on a label or something, right? And so okay, that's a premonition, but like it would have been cool if the tiger was cooler. Didn't even have to be a live tiger, but like, a label.
Yeah. Let's see. Cassie comes back, tells them about the Pop Girl, and they decide to split up and run. They sleep, but Cassie wakes up with a vision. The mafia guys arrive at the hotel, but everyone's already left. Pinky and Cassie head off together. I'm sorry, Pinky and Kira head off together, as does Cassie and Nick. So Nick decides he's just going to go kill Carver now. That's just what he's going to go do.
Just occurred to him.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should kill the bad guy right now. I'm figuring that out.
And he doesn't seem powerful.
Not especially. I mean, he's a...
No, I wasn't saying that seriously. That's Evans's inner, but like, I'm going to go take care of Carver.
Yeah.
I bet he's a loser.
He calls Emily and has her track Carver, which is super easy, apparently. Finds him at a restaurant. Nick goes there, confronts Carver with his floaty guns. It was like it reminded me of like Invisible Man, like guns on a string thing.
Right.
Yeah, very much string bound floating objects.
I feel like if I was sitting in a restaurant, I would see two guns coming from kind of further away, even if they're above me.
Yeah.
Like if a bird was in a restaurant, you'd fucking notice.
Yeah, you'd catch it out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah. Like, what are those? Oh, those are floating guns. Yeah, of course. I love this dim sum restaurant.
Carver tells Nick that Kira is going to die without an injection due to the drug she was given. Nick gets in a telekinetic fight with Jackson, Carver's sidekick, who kicks Jackson kicks Nick's ass. So Carver goes outside, finds Cassie, super cash about everything. This whole interaction. Cassie reminds Carver that if Nick dies, it will change the future. So Carver tells Jackson to let Nick go, and they just leave, leaving Nick and Cassie there.
If I was the division, when I had these people like under anesthesia or whatever, and I don't know, I would have stuck microchips in these people if they were so important.
Yeah.
They had them for dogs and pets.
Well, I mean, so Cassie follows him there, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she's outside. She knows that Carver is coming outside, and she has a plan for when he comes outside. None of this shit makes sense. I see the pieces in the row, but I'm like, none of it's interesting. None of it builds to anything. If you kill him, you won't get the girl. Like, what?
Well,
Right.
yeah, and it's all very like none of it feels organic. It feels like they're placing
contrived.
the piece very contrived. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Carver just took Cassie at her word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
whatever you say, little girl.
Right. And if they didn't
how didn't he push her into like go home to your mother?
Right? Why isn't he doing that?
or kill Nick.
Or kill Nick.
They don't need Nick. I know he was the link to Kira, but Kira's now off with Pinky. They don't really need Nick.
Well, no.
But again, if they had tracking devices, they wouldn't need anybody.
Well, no,
because he could have pushed Nick. He could have pushed her to tell Nick, "Oh, the future says that we have to go to X location once we find the girl."
Right.
Yeah.
Because he could push Kira through, like, obviously anything. He was so powerful. You're right. He could have done that. Just like
there should have been more cat and mouse shit. And Nick should have been like, wait, this doesn't clock with your original. Where are your drawings of this?
Right. Why are we here? Yeah. Where are your drawings? You didn't draw this.
Yeah.
You didn't draw this
compelling scene.
Yeah.
And then start to be like, this is fishy because you didn't see it come.
Yeah.
I bet it's Carver. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, no stakes.
Yeah.
Getting a suitcase, ultimately.
Yeah. Oh, no. That suitcase is the most MacGuffin-y MacGuffin that ever MacGuffined.
Right.
Well, right, because it's not pointless. It's just disappointing. I mean, they that's what they've been looking for all the time. So it wasn't just an object meant to lead you. Yeah. What a lame payoff.
Yeah. So, all right.
And the scene with the locker key. I mean, Get Shorty's one I remember, but it's been used so many times.
So much. So, all right. She tells Nick that there's a drug in the case, the one that gave her extra. Oh, I'm sorry. So everybody goes. Wait. Yeah. They all leave. I'm trying to figure this movie out myself.
Everybody goes wild because it's spring break.
Okay, so Nick and Cassie, they go and find Pinky and Kira. They've hooked up with Cliff at this point. Kira's sick. She tells Nick that there's a drug in the case, the one that gave her extra powers. I guess she has extra powers. Does she?
I don't know. Or it's an antidote, right? Because she's turning to ooze from it.
They call it a psychic steroid.
Do they?
But she has to keep taking it, I guess, to
stay alive.
Yeah.
And since 1945, she's the only one they've seen react this way.
That was
able. They don't really tell us why.
Well, and her powers are really not that great compared to what's his name,
Carver.
Yeah,
Carver.
This didn't seem to give her super extra great pushing powers.
He was able to.
His pupils expand to fill all of the whites of his eyes. I assume that's because he has darker pupils, that they did that for that visual effect.
Hers would dilate as well.
But they didn't fill the entire white of her eyes.
Yeah.
So he seems like he has more power. I mean, just as a visual cue. That you would think that like this girl who is, young and undeveloped power-wise, taking this thing, all of a sudden she's going to have very... it's going to fill her entire eyeball or something to visually show us that she has an immense level of power.
Yeah.
You're right. They didn't try to do that at all.
And she could push Fox into a city block instead of she had 6 dudes at one point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The difference between X and Jean Grey kind of thing.
Having the 6 dudes at the end is the one and only time they showed her having any amount of power that seemed outside of the norm.
Yeah. And even that's not that much. I mean, realistically, she should have been pushing thoughts into the entire gang.
Well, and they also implied that she was almost a Jason Bourne level, hand-to-hand combat such thing. Yeah. And then they realized she wasn't working for the division, but that would make sense if she was she was trained a badass soldier.
No, he tells her she does, but in reality, the actual scene in the bathroom, she just got lucky and hit him a bunch with the sign.
Yeah. Right, but she even has a flashback of how was I able to fight so well?
Well, watching it through the second time, the flashback was slightly different. It showed her doing moves, where in the original scene, she actually wasn't doing cool moves. So that was him pushing it into her brain.
Right. Okay.
But again, really confusing.
Yes, confusing. That's all.
So, all right. Cassie finds a key in her shoe. They go to Emily to find what the key opens.
Intrigue.
Yes. Emily says the key is place the key is for is being shadowed.
Emily says this key smells like foot.
Right. Yeah.
Do we know where the key came from? I think at this point I was like,
she stashed it for herself, right? Why was the mirror written on if it wasn't her?
No, she wrote it on the mirror herself, so she'd remember.
It was written twice on the.
No.
Oh, so it was like a memento thing?
She wrote Nick twice. Yes, it was like a memento thing.
She wrote Nick to see that the handwriting matched.
That it was her own handwriting. So
I wonder when she wrote that.
It was right before her memory got wiped.
She wrote it twice?
No. No.
I know. We saw her writing it again. I thought she was doing it to match her own handwriting, to see it was her that wrote it.
Yes.
But it was written twice before.
No.
When she looks into the mirror.
It was written once before. When she wrote it, when we saw her writing it, that was the second time.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I thought I saw 3, but I don't have the best eyes.
I think. So,
I'm pretty sure it was twice. I think it was
I'm pretty sure it was twice.
Nick.
And she wrote the third time.
Oh.
I thought
it's seeing double, 4 crusties.
All right. So they figure out it's in a specific building that's being shadowed.
Like the spirit.
Yeah. The mafia watcher, the pop girl, asks the Stitch for help. Nick comes up with a plan to write letters to themselves and wipe his memory so they can't be tracked by Pop Girl. Then at this point, I don't even know who is chasing them for what reason.
I don't either. And obviously, I mean, I don't know. Okay, so forget the writing on the mirror, other than she's reminding herself she has the locker number. So is that something someone told her? Or when did she get the time to put that case in the locker?
4100 is the locker number?
Yes.
Yes.
Shit.
And it's on the key that was taped over.
Yeah. So,
as if you were looking for this key, you would pick it up, and because there's tape over it and there's no number, but it was hidden in a shoe, you'd be like, fuck, this is just an everyday key.
I completely forgot that 4100 was the number by the time they got to the key and the locker aspect.
Yeah, well,
I thought 4100 was like the block in Hong Kong that he lived in. Because Nick and Hong Kong, there's got to be more than one American Nick in Hong Kong.
Well, you know what's great? He lives on 5th Street, as if 5TH is something that exists
in Hong Kong. Yeah.
In Cantonese or Mandarin.
Oh, man.
5th Street.
Well, okay. So what? My number one unanswered question is about the locker, but I don't want to. I'll save it for the unanswered question section.
Yeah, we're close. We're close.
So all right. So they switch out the case and syringe for another case. Were there 2 fake cases or just what? There were
why would you switch
two
them
fake
out?
black cases.
You're the one with the key.
No. They took just the syringe out and put it into the locker, right? And then faked a syringe in the same case.
They did? Because at the end, he finds the case with the syringe in it inside a trash can.
Oh, it was in the case at the end. So maybe they bought another black case, and then there was the red case.
I thought there
the
was
original
2.
black case.
This was
there was
all
2 fake ones.
Very confusing.
And you're the one with the key, so why not put it back? You don't have to put a fake one in there. You're the one with the key. So if Carver shows up and he's going to blow it up anyways, you know what I mean? Like, it's just odd. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody needed to diagram this plot better.
And I know he doesn't blow it up, but he could have gotten around the key by doing that.
Well, yeah, and I know this whole thing was supposed to be like a heisty Ocean's 11-y kind of thing where everything falls into place and clockwork and all of this, but it was really difficult to follow and made no sense. And I watched it twice.
Didn't do that.
For it to be a shell game the way that they played it, I really think that they needed to diagram like a straight line through this timeline as to where things go, and how they're going to show it and visualize it. I think they just hit the storyboard. They're like, this will look cool, man. This will look really cool. How
rad would it have been if every of the players on Nick's side had a case? Like it would visually look cool, and it would also tie into the like, oh, you can mess with watchers if it's random, if you're not thinking about it and stuff.
Yeah.
So
And they just
so many
switch it
random
out.
cases,
and they're switching
hand them off
between
to each other.
Yeah, that
Could
would
have been suspenseful and
look
thrilling.
cool on screen.
It would look so cool on screen, walking past each other, and then the other person has the case. Yeah, could have done a lot of things that wouldn't have changed anything or made it more expensive.
Yeah, everybody gets a hotel room and they put it in a hotel room or in a locker somewhere.
A different hotel room at different hotels.
Yeah.
Which is why the dice would have been interesting, because you don't even, you're not holding an envelope or anything.
Yeah.
You roll for your suitcase.
Yeah.
Right. For your suitcase number. You what?
I said that would require a dungeon master to tell you what happened when you roll the dice.
Exactly.
And
There's
we all
dark
know
elf in here.
we all know dungeon masters don't exist in this universe. So. All right.
Yes, they do. They're called masters. Just add an ER.
So all right.
To a
The power of improv. And silly voices.
That's a weird power.
So Pinky gives, they're like, yes, and. So Pinky gives Cassie to Carver. This is part of the plan. And Nick uses that money that Carver gave to Pinky to get his memory wiped of the last 2 hours. And he also has an envelope for the wiper.
And why is she suddenly a bargaining chip? Like you said, Carver left her on the sidewalk.
No. Wait, no, I'm sorry. He didn't give Cassie. He gives Kira.
Oh, Cassie, Kira.
I misspoke.
Yeah,
He gives
my
Kira.
bad.
So Cliff goes to the top of the shadowed building, finds a case in the locker. He takes it back to Cassie, who takes it and goes and hides per her instructions. Nick reads his instructions. He goes home to where the stitch is, and there's a case there. She does something to Nick that makes him all painful, then gives that case to the mafia. Then Nick gets the drop on her with his floating guns. The mafia takes the case, realizes it's a fake one. Pop Girl calls Cassie, who goes and finds Nick. They head to where Kira is being held by Carver. Carver tells Kira that she's a division agent. He does the push thing on her to make her think that she never knew Nick. Nick and Cassie.
And not just that she never knew Nick, but that she was pushing Nick. He made her think that too.
Yeah, and that exactly. And that she was his partner all along.
Yep.
So let's see. Nick and Cassie split up. Pop Girl finds Cassie in the back room of a restaurant. This movie has a lot of people wandering into buildings they have no business being in and going into like back rooms.
Yes.
Could you imagine just wandering into a restaurant and going into their kitchen without?
Yeah.
Or like you said earlier, there's a fish market, but then yet there's also this sort of like cold storage unit. Then there's this little hospital bed situation. And then across the hall from that are some monks chanting and singing in a very well decorated little temple or whatever. It's not.
And just a reminder,
food court.
Each and every single one of these characters is a fish out of water. They stick out like sore thumbs.
Yeah.
None of them are Hong Kongers. They're all American.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it seems like people that Nick deals with know that he has powers.
Yeah.
Sort of, I know we saw them see the dice game, but it was implied like you can't be trusted, you motherfucker kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not just you owe us money.
All right. So, let's see. So Pop Girl's going to kill Cassie, but then the wiper that Nick paid shows up and wipes her.
Like a sumo wrestler.
And he had those long.
Can't wipe herself. Somebody.
Yeah. She uses a rag on a stick. And he had the almost stereotypical gross Chinese mystic Fu Manchu kind of fingernails.
Yeah, it was kind of gross.
Like Alec Baldwin had in The Spirit.
Yes.
That's how you can tell they live in Asian. Or the Shadow. Sorry. That's what I meant earlier.
So all right. So Nick calls Carver and makes a deal to trade the case for Kira. He shows up at the room where they are. Kira tells him they were never together. She tells him she pushed him into believing they had a relationship. They've never been to Coney Island. She says no one's ever been to Coney Island. For a second, I was like, no one? No one's ever been to Coney Island?
A couple people. It's actually
that
not
was her power. She erased all of humanity's memory of Coney Island.
Right.
It's been abandoned ever since.
The amusement park is named after the area of Brooklyn, not vice versa. So that's another, everybody's like Coney Island is just a carousel. It's a whole neighborhood like Williamsburg. All
right. So Nick's phone rings. It's Cliff who tells Carver to let them leave, and he'll tell Carver where the case is. So Carver takes Nick and Kira, heads to the construction site. He gets the fake case. Mafia shows up. Big fight scene between everybody. In the end, all the Mafia guys die. Nick kills Jackson, the sidekick to Carver, and tells Kira that what Carver told her about her being a division agent is a lie. Nick gets the syringe from Carver and injects himself, collapsing. Kira.
Oh, right. Yeah. There's a big question coming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to ask Al. Okay.
Kira and Carver leave. Cassie arrives. Nick's fine. It was a fake syringe full of soy sauce.
All right. So can you do that? That would kill you, right? I mean, how does that work? That's a lot of sodium.
Injecting soy salt directly into your vein can't be good for you.
It can't be good. Yeah, that's a blast of sodium. I don't know. Al, what do you
I've heard stories of people injecting vodka directly into their veins.
You're asking the wrong twin. That's a question from my sister.
I know, but I trust your brain to spitball based on other things,
chemistry, not biology and physiology.
Fair enough. Well, exactly. Just to feel like a mother who can't pinpoint what the danger is, I'll just say that can't be good for you.
No, do not inject soy sauce into your veins. Anybody.
Like saline maybe would be better. Fine. Like bleach right up your butthole. It's good to go.
Saline or even water. I mean, but if it's no air bubbles, but that's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, people injecting stuff in movies is real. People are real casual. I never liked it. Real casual with that shit in movies.
That's true. Just boink.
Yeah. So, all right. They retrieve the real case from its hiding spot. They're not sure what they're going to do with the serum, but they know everything's going to be just swell.
Yeah.
From here on out.
We're gonna make it after all.
Now that they are kind of right back where they were before. All right. On the plane, there's Kira opens the letter from Nick, finds a picture of them at Coney Island together. She realizes she did know Nick, so she pushes Carver to kill himself. Roll credits.
Wait. Yeah.
She's had her purse with her the whole time. Don't you think those guys would have gone through it?
Yeah, at least for some gum.
Yeah.
And
just to look to see that she didn't have the syringe in her purse.
And just with what's her name in Wolverine and William Stryker, like if you could do something, why did you wait to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And So this movie, okay. All I have are unanswered questions about this movie. This movie is one big unanswered question.
All right. Do you have something we haven't talked about?
So here's my number one thing.
My list went through already.
Here's my number one thing that twice through I couldn't even come up with a working hypothesis for. Who put that syringe in the case in the locker in the first place? Where did that even come from?
And then how did Kira know that was the number, and who taped the key?
Well, I assume
Kira did it.
I assume Kira wiped her memory of the key thing. Like that was the reason she was wiping her memory, so that she wouldn't know the locker and she wouldn't be able to give it away, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah.
But how?
I assume she made plans, but when? Delivered the thing, then had her mind wiped. And we are led to believe through
that makes
storytelling
that's how
that
she
it was
knows
wiped.
the number.
Wait, but where
Right.
did that syringe come from? She ran out of that hospital.
She stole it off the table. That was her first thing that she stood up, grabbed it off the table, and then ran out with it.
Twice through, I didn't notice.
See, that's weird.
Yeah.
They would,
I noticed it. Yeah, but that was luck.
Why would you be subtle about that, but then have us follow a marble through the hallways of a hospital and have that mean nothing? I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't see her pick that up. You're right. That should have been more noticeable.
I watched this movie,
grabbed it, and then ran.
I watched this movie twice and didn't notice. You think they would have had someone be like, "She's got the serum" or something?
And how many close-ups of dye were there? You know?
Oh, yeah.
So, but we can't tell she picked up the syringe. That's not as obvious as close-ups of red dice being thrown.
I watch everything with subtitles on.
Same.
And Carver at one point goes like, "She also took the serum." And I think it's the only thing they have of it. It's the other sample. And I'm like, what the fuck have they been experimenting on? Do they make this one at a time?
Yeah. Right.
And they lose the recipe every time?
Since 45 or 46.
So I have to assume they're changing the serum all the time because it keeps killing them. So they keep trying to change it, I would guess.
That would make sense, but Carver made it sound like, we keep injecting them with this and no one can withstand it. But you're right. They were probably hopefully improving it, but they don't say that.
Yeah, that would also make no sense. For 70 years, we've been injecting people with the same thing and it kills them every time. I wonder if we should keep doing
I thought about the serum.
That's more obvious based on what they said. All right, go ahead.
For a brief moment, I thought about the serum, and there's not a lot of science happening. There's just a medical facility where they're doing the human what they strap you to a bed and they inject the stuff in you. There's not we don't see a laboratory where people are doing research, which made me make this giant leap. That maybe this is from another level of powered person who excretes the ability to
maybe her mom
to improve someone's powers, by being within the area of them, you buff their power.
And the only character we know to be in captivity, quote, is the mom, who we never end up seeing.
Yeah.
Nobody else has been captured, even when Carver has a fucking opportunity. And secondly, wouldn't Kira and her level of powers be a useful super soldier already? She gets Carver to kill himself. So it's what are you injecting her with anyways? Most of these people, Chris Evans can move guns and make them fire. What are you adding to?
Right?
Yeah.
Unless, like you said, Brian, the idea is to get them to combine powers, but they don't fucking tell us. But that would have made sense. They have Leech in the X-Men. He can drain your powers. So they have him locked away should they need him. So Mom is locked away should Carver need her. But he never needs her. He never.
Yeah, no.
Nothing.
No. The whole premise of the plot of this movie is just makes no sense.
We're dying out, going into extinction. So we're dying, and we can change the future with every choice we make. Sounds pretty run of the mill to me.
And we all really cares that we're out here.
Nobody cares. The rest of the world.
They just check in on us every once in a while. They just do these regular welfare visits and then disappear.
That's exactly what they are. Division welfare checks. All right, your apartment looks clean. We'll be back.
Okay, so here's.
Are you eating?
Are you eating? Is anyone abusing you?
So here's another unanswered question. In the beginning, in the voiceover, we're told that there are different divisions in different countries were created. But then through the rest of the movie, there's just the division, the one and only.
And it's American, but this is all in Hong Kong.
So
Hong Kong is lawless, and the gangsters say at one point, I mean, I'm just making that as a movie assumption, we are the government here, is what this gangster said to him.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's why they're in Hong Kong, because there's no government in Hong Kong. But
it made it seem like the division
out Hong Kong.
They said they've been tracking Nick for all these years, so I think they showed up in Hong Kong. Looking for him.
The division, they make it seem like the division is this one huge worldwide thing. But are there divisions in every country, or is this just the one and only division?
Yeah, it has to be based in Hong Kong because we didn't see Kira cross an ocean or fly anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
She's on a boat, but she didn't come from the United States.
That's where that guy lives that wiped her mind.
Yeah, she didn't take a fishing boat from New York to Hong Kong.
Yeah,
right. She didn't go to Coney Island or what was...
Yeah, that hospital place was in Hong Kong.
Yeah. So they were experimenting on her there. They were Americans. It was the division. Yeah. How convoluted.
But where were they flying back to at the end? Back to the States?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Washington.
I'd assume. But
Mainland
also,
China?
like, none of... Like, who knows? Who knows? All right. So how did... Was it the Japanese mafia that moved Nick? Because he was laying down in the fish market, like, injured. And then he's just in the back on that massage bed. Like, who put him there?
Who put him there? Yeah, not Cassie.
No,
not the Stitch.
There's another group actively working against the Hong Kong gang.
The syndicate?
Yeah, maybe. Well, you did say Japanese mafia. Maybe there is a small group of Japanese
but no, they look
Hong Kong
in
mafia.
Hong Kong.
Yeah, they looked like Yakuza trope characters.
Yeah,
it was Hong Kong, but it was modeled after.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was the monks that were praying. They just
I was going to suggest that.
And brought in like, oh, this guy's dying. Let's take him to this.
They gently
more comfy place to die.
We'll
more comfy on a massage table. It wasn't a doctor's examination table though.
So, all right, what did the mafia? Like, how did they even get involved? I assume Pop Girls...
Right, how do they know about the syringe and why do they want that?
What were they even after? They wanted the syringe. Just because it's valuable? And, their involvement was weird and confusing.
It didn't work on anybody. I mean, if it had been like gangbusters, it worked. Oh my God, we finally got the serum correct.
Right.
And then the Hong Kong gang heard about it. They're like, oh shit, we can pump up these screaming dudes.
So Carver knows for 70 years everyone has died from whatever, even if they've been improving it. She doesn't die. Everyone's like, whoa, but Carver knows what the side effects to it are. And so, you know what I mean? Like, she's turning to ooze inside. She's slowly dying. Oh, wow. Okay. So this has never worked, but you know what happens when it works. And then, like you said, the mafia, if they knew about it, wouldn't they also know what happened? You know,
right?
How do you know a little bit about this? It's never worked.
And how does Carver know that she has to keep injecting it to stay alive?
Right. She's the only one. They would never have gotten to that point in an experiment if they all died.
Wouldn't they have all just been after her more than the serum itself? Because they're convinced that anybody else that takes it is just going to die anyways.
Yeah.
It's her.
The serum could have been derived from Cassie's mom. They could have done so much with the Cassie's mom character. It was annoying that she was a character and not. If Cassie's mom was super powerful and they were deriving the serum from her.
Well, and the one character description we got of her, besides like her walking through the hospital or whatever, was that she had stronger powers of watching when she was drunk. We didn't even mention that Cassie got hammered.
Yeah,
that's right. They did have a child get drunk.
Yeah,
which as somebody who drank at 11, that shit cracked me up in this movie. I was like, oh, I've been that child wandering the streets of Mexico.
She was obviously playing drunk, but at the same time, her eyes were pretty glassy.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah. She did a really good job of that. And then passing out and being kind of aggravated. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was like
you've all been
to mirror her mom's drinking to amp up her ability to see the future.
Right. You're right. But they didn't.
All right. So I have one last unanswered question. So, when building an actual skyscraper, this is a tall office building. This isn't someone's house. When building
this isn't going to be Venice again, is it?
When building an actual skyscraper, do they really use scaffolding built from bamboo in Hong Kong?
You can. You totally can. But, I mean, we used to use scaffolding made out of wood. And you just build it and move it. It's easy to move and tie.
But I mean,
yeah, but I'm with Thoreau. Like, it's also very light, so it blows in the wind a lot more. Like, I don't know, 20 stories up.
Yeah, in 2009, 20 stories up. I have a feeling they're going to be using like metal. Like,
yeah. Well, but they were building. They were up high on a skyscraper and building up around the elevator shaft is what I assumed.
Yeah,
kind of thing. So they were moving scaffolding to do piping and that kind of thing.
I love that.
I suspended my disbelief on that a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, we used to use wood to do this. It's just old fashioned.
I love that Pop Girl draws a picture of the skyline and she's like, he's there.
Right?
In the city?
Well, it's like
Okay,
Kira having Nick written in lipstick on a mirror. Oh yeah, let's go to Hong Kong. I'm going to go find Nick.
In this locker. That's not a permanent locker. Like, it's been brought up to that construction site for the contractors to put their lunch and shit in. It's not a bus station. Yeah. It's not a train station. Lucky that those lockers were there for that short amount of time.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Jesus.
Yeah.
On one random floor. I mean, if you brought them up, that's what they'd be used for. In construction. So weird.
It's where you keep your normal shoes.
Right, yeah. Or your phone or any shit like that. You can't put shit in your pockets when you... Yeah, anyway.
So, all right. Are you guys... I think we've kind of picked this nit to death. Are you guys ready to rank it?
Sure. It might be a tough ranking because, like we all said, we didn't hate it. There were things to look at.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see. Here we go. All right. Yeah.
Keep going down. It's not in the top 17.
No, it's not. I'm looking.
I'm thinking Last Stand ish, Spider-Man 3-ish area.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at that.
Yeah, very middle.
Where's MNT?
Maybe by Jumper. It reminded me of Jumper more than anything.
It really did. In fact, I said Jumper
was cooler, less convoluted or more convoluted.
I thought it was a better made film with a worse plot than Jumper.
Yeah.
Right. But it wasn't as like nostalgic as Hero at Large because John Ritter just, made us happy. So I would say in between Hero at Large and Jumper.
Okay. All right.
That's my opinion.
That, yeah.
Al, what do you think?
Works for me.
All right.
All right. Nice work, fellas.
Yeah, here we go.
Josh, did you push that thought into his mind?
I did. I pushed it right in. Yeah, right.
There we go.
Wait, do I even have a sister?
Push.
Right. So Push comes in at number 50. Smack dab right there, kind of in the middle. That's it for Push this week, everybody, which means next week we will be watching Kick-Ass.
All right, cool.
That's a fun one.
It is.
Yeah. I'm excited about that.
Another young person in the role of a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, he purposefully had Parker vibes, but yeah, fun.
So, all right, that'll join us next week for Kick-Ass. Thanks for hanging out with us in Harmless Phosphorescence, everybody. This has been Thoreau Smiley, and I have to go now. I need to buy a new toothbrush.
My name's Josh Cece, and I get things wrong sometimes.
I'm Ryan Lesh, and you can all open those envelopes now. See you next movie.
I'm Alaric Weber. Wear sunscreen. It's going to be sunny.
Snakes on a plane.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.